Meaning, mastery, love, and a new kind of school. If meaning is our goal, then mastery has to be our engine, and love is our fuel. Let's take this from the top, shall we? Our goal is meaning. I'm Brandon. I'm a humanities teacher. That means that I am the happiest guy you will ever meet. We humanities teachers have discovered the elixir of life. We are paid money to talk with kids about the questions that matter. Is there a God? Why are some folks poor? Why is depression skyrocketing among teens in the 21st century? Why is it so hard to control ourselves? Is the world getting better? Is it getting worse? What is a happy life anyhow? What do we even want? And kids eat this up. We humanities teachers can walk into any classroom and within 2 minutes have everybody participating. Hands held high in the air, everybody, from the A students in the front to the stoners sulking in the back row. Meaning, students crave it. And schools don't have all that much of it. Ask anybody who spends time in schools. So many of us feel like we're just marking time, students and teachers alike. We feel like we're prepping for standardized tests more than we're prepping for a purposeful life. Could it even be possible to build a school that embraces meaning? Is it possible to get kids and adults alike talking about the questions that matter? Well, we are a team of teachers who are opening a school, a new kind of school, and we think that the answer is yes. We can have schools of meaning, but there's a problem. Because I misled you a few minutes ago. I really can go into any group of students and explode brains with questions, and it's really fun to do that. But to continue those conversations for weeks or for months or for years, kids need more than questions. They need more than curiosity even. And they need knowledge about the world. You see, they know that all these questions that they can think of, that they've already been tried out. These questions have been lived out by thousands of people by billions of people over thousands of years. But mostly students don't know what that was like. They just know their narrow slice of suburbia or urbia or country living, and they know that they only know that. They know that in order to have real conversations about these questions, they need to bring in real human stories from the vast world outside their experiences. To really engage the big questions, a new kind of school would have to explore religions and cultures and political systems and philosophies and economics. It would have to be built around a liberal arts curriculum. But a new kind of school couldn't stop there, couldn't stop with the liberal arts. Because those things don't actually, at the end of the day, make any sense until you understand what motivates people. And that means psychology. But then you can't stop with psychology either, because psychology grows out of biology. But biology, of course, grows out of chemistry, and chemistry grows out of physics, and physics, at the end of the day, is basically just applied math. All of the school subjects, they link up. To understand any one thing, you gotta understand the whole thing. And that's a lot to ask for. But it gets worse. To understand the whole, you gotta have skills, not half-hearted skills, like mad, crazy skills. To understand the world in depth, you gotta read voraciously, you gotta write eloquently, you have to speak powerfully, and you have to think brilliantly. That's a lot. Can we get students to do all of that by the time they're in high school? Let's be honest. No. We probably can't. That's probably impossible. Well, it was impossible. Meaning is our goal, but mastery is our engine. Where does talent come from anyhow? How are some of us so danged good at things? About 30 years ago, scientists at Florida State tried to figure this out. What they found was shocking. Actual prodigies are vanishingly rare. Most people have world-class skills, chess grandmasters, concert violinists, got there through practice. Even Mozart kind of stunk at music before he put in his 10,000 hours. What the researchers have been learning is that practice makes talent. Talent isn't born so much as it's made. And more or less anybody can make a whole lot of talent if they do a certain kind of practice, a lot of it. But what kind of practice? Well, that's what the researchers have spent the last couple decades figuring out, and they have figured it out. They've dubbed it deliberate practice. It involves goal setting, failure, feedback, failure, repetition, more failure, and a lot of other things. Long story short, they've figured it out. Psychologists have cracked open the lockbox of human genius, and this is a revolution. The world will not be the same. This revolution is slowly filtering down into schools. Up in Toronto, there's a PhD in math who's rewritten the curriculum to make it easy for kids who are really, really bad at math to get really, really good at it. In Virginia, there's a professor of psychology who's done the same thing for the reading curriculum. In New York, there are people who've done it for writing. In California, there are people who have done it for drawing. And around the country, there are people who have done it for public speaking. This is an exciting time to be alive. Well, so far as our team knows, there isn't any school that's put all these pieces together. But we can do that. We can have schools of mastery. Imagine being a parent of a kindergartner entering a school like that. You can have confidence that not only will your daughter master reading and writing and drawing and cooking and math and meditation and storytelling and improv, but she'll have mastered mastery itself. We can do that. We can help students become pretty dang good at more or less everything. Or, maybe we can't. Because, look, obviously, developing that level of mastery takes so much work. And we all know people who've been pushed and pushed and pushed and then snapped. Now, there is another way of approaching this. Not to push kids, but to pull them. To cultivate interest in what happens in school. To captivate them with content. To seduce them with skills. To help the students want to learn everything. Want to work hard to become good at more or less everything. Is this possible? Can we lead kids to become desperately interested in everything? No, we can't. That's hippy-dippy nonsense. It's impossible. Well, it was impossible. Meaning is the goal, and mastery is the engine, but love is the fuel. There's an outfit of people up in British Columbia who are reinventing schooling by redefining teaching. Teaching, they say, is the sharing of loves. And love is a virus. We all know this, right? You catch love from other people. What this group in Vancouver has done is make it easy for teachers to fall a little bit in love with every topic that they teach. They've made it easy for students to catch that love. They have weaponized interest. We can have a school in which almost everything is interesting. We can have schools of meaning because we can have schools of mastery. And we can have schools of mastery because we can have schools of love. Meaning is the goal. Mastery is the engine. The fuel is love. I've been talking about this in the context of schools, but really schools aren't that special. Meaning, mastery, and love are human things. They can infuse our lives. They can infuse our families. We each have things that we love. We can spread them to our kids. We each have things that we've mastered. We can hone those things and help our kids hone theirs. And by spreading our loves and by honing our masteries, we can all together pursue lives of ever more meaning. We can have better schools. We can have better lives. We can have a better world. And a new kind of school might be able to help.